indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good evening, Mr. Chair, Council, City Attorney, Mayor Burcroft, Deputy Clerk, and audience. This is the City of Romulus City Council regular meeting for Monday, May the 8th, 2017. At this time, we'll take roll call. Councilwoman Abdo? Here. Councilman Barden?
Here.
Councilwoman Choate?
Here.
Councilman Kraut?
Here.
Councilwoman Makowski? Here. Councilwoman Roscoe?
Here.
And Councilman Wadsworth.
Here.
Mr. Chair, we have a quorum this evening.
Okay, thank you, Madam Clerk.
Tonight's council meeting agenda is as follows. Number 1, agenda. Number 2, minutes. Number 3, petitioner. 4 is a chairperson's report. 5, mayor's report. 6A, clerk's report. 6B is a treasurer's report. 7 is public comment. 8 is unfinished business. 9, new business. 10, communication. 11 is warrant 17-09, and number 12 is adjournment. And a motion would be in order to accept the council meeting agenda as presented.
So moved.
Support.
It's been motioned by Mr. Kraut, supported by Ms. Makowski, for approval of the agenda as presented. Mr. Kraut?
Yes.
Ms. Makowski?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Choate?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Chair votes yes. Motion approved.
Number 2 are the minutes. 2A, for approval are the minutes from the regular council meeting that was held on May 1st, 2017.
So moved for May 1st, 2017.
Support.
It's been motioned by Mr. Wadsworth, supported by Ms. Abdo, for approval of the minutes from the regular council meeting, which was held May 1st, 2017. Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Ms. Choate?
Yes.
Mr. Kraut?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Makowski?
Yes.
Chair votes yes. Motion approved.
Item 2B, for approval are the minutes from the public hearing held on May 1st, 2017. This was regarding the fiscal year 2017-18 city budget.
So moved. Support.
Been motioned by Ms. Makowski, supported by Ms. Roscoe, for approval of the minutes from the public hearing held on May 1st, 2017, fiscal year 2017-18, the city budget. Ms. Makowski?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Mr. Kraut?
Yes.
Ms. Choate?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Chair votes yes. Motion approved.
Number 3 is petitioner. Mr. Chair and Council, we have 2 petitioners on the agenda this evening. The first petitioner, we have Nino DiDomenico, and the city planner, Carol Mays, is respectively recommending that City Council approve a 1-year extension, which to expire on May 12, 2018, for PC 2015-005 D&G conditional rezoning located at 11651 Hannon Road. And again, Mr. Chair and Council, representing D&G, we have Nino DiDomenico. And Mr. DiDomenico, if you can approach the podium. Also, Council, Mr. Chair and Council, if you do approve this request this evening, this will be introduction and first reading.
Okay. Good evening.
We're looking to extend the conditional rezoning.
Microphone.
Use the
the
mic. Is the
microphone.
mic up there? Oh,
Is it turned on?
Use the
Can you hear me?
hand.
oh okay,
Oh,
good.
Oh,
Okay.
that's
Good evening.
Good evening.
We're looking to extend the conditional rezoning at Hannon and North Line. We feel that with the rezoning that has it's made the property more more interested and boosted a lot of interest in possible tenants to looking at the site to bring business to the site.
Any questions?
Yes,
Bob.
nothing is going to change right now. We're just going to extend what we did a year ago.
Exactly.
Right, okay.
Any other comments?
I'll-
Yes, Ms. Abdo, then Ms. Makowski.
So you do not need the zoning for your business, you're just trying to get it so you can sell it?
We're not selling, no. I mean,
The,
Bring
not
the
your
business.
business, but I mean the land.
we're not planning on selling the land, no. We're planning on developing the land.
Okay.
You done?
Finished, okay.
Ms. McCoskey?
I thought the package was very, very clear. We're just extending what we agreed to last year. Just to
Exactly.
give you more time to get some development in there for whatever customer that you can bring in.
Exactly. We already have a site plan scheduled for next week for a site plan approval on the back half, the part that wasn't rezoned. But so we're planning on extending the rezoning in the front. So with this project moving forward in the rear, it'll bring potential interest in the front piece.
Thank you. Very happy to have you here in our community.
Okay. Yes, Ms. Cho?
I have a question. I will be willing to approve this extension, but along the front on Hannon Road, you have a lot of weeds that somewhat restricts oncoming traffic when
Okay.
we're at North Line. Can you cut those weeds, please?
Sure.
Thank you.
Okay, great. Any other comments? No other comments? Okay.
I'll make a motion. I'll support that.
Okay, it's been motioned by Ms. Roscoe, supported by Ms. Makowski. This is for PC 2014-005-D and G, conditional rezoning at 11651 Hannon Road. Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Makowski?
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Mr. Crowd?
Yes.
Ms. Cho?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Agenda item 3B is the Planning Commission held a public hearing on Thursday, May 4th, 2017, for the purpose of considering RZ-2017-003, Project Mercury, a proposed amendment to the City of Romulus zoning map to conditionally rezone 4.7 acres of property from the current designation of RC Regional Center District to M1 Light Industrial District to allow for an 857,000 square foot warehouse distribution delivery building. Representing Project Mercury, we have Jonathan Stites. Come to the podium at this time.
Good afternoon.
Good evening.
Jonathan Stites. What we thought we'd do is allow Mr. Strader, the planner consultant for the city, kind of give an overview, and then I'll come back up and can give a little bit of a flavor from our perspective.
Okay.
Good evening. Brad Strader, planning consultant to the city. Thanks for having me here this evening. I'll try to give a quick kind of a recap on where we are and a little bit of history, both for some of you and especially for the audience. You've had a packet, probably you've seen a lot of the information on this. This is an 85-acre site on the south side of Ecorse Road, just east of Vining Road, if you imagine Vining Road being extended. And the request is for a large-scale processing and distribution center, which best fits in terms of the city zoning ordinance into the M1 Light Industrial Zoning District. But the site is zoned RC Regional Commercial. So just a little bit of history on regional commercial and what it means, because you may recall we had a joint meeting with the Planning Commission, or council had a joint meeting with the Planning Commission to talk about the master plan update and the RC zoning in particular in this part of the city. So when the Vining Road interchange was built, the city had envisioned, way back in, I think, the late 90s, the city had envisioned a major mixed-use development in this area, including retail, restaurants, entertainment, single and multiple family housing, lots of open space, corporate offices and other types of offices and services, and maybe some research and development type uses. And over the years, there have been different proposals in this area under the RC zoning. The most significant one, I think, was called Metro World, which had all of those uses. And the city negotiated a big plan development agreement, a development agreement that laid out a lot of infrastructure and uses and a new fire station and so forth. But because of the market, that project didn't happen. Years later, there was a thoroughbred racetrack as part of a mixed-use development that also came in under the planned development option of the zoning ordinance in the RC district. And later, there were commercial proposals and residential proposals, a lot of things proposed, an outlet mall. Some were approved, some were just ideas, but there was no ground turn, nothing happened. So when the Planning Commission was looking at updating the master plan, they looked at this area and thought, well, maybe because the market's changed, retail has changed with internet shopping and so forth. There's not as much demand for retail. You may remember we talked about that at the joint meeting. The airport, which was envisioned as being a major attractor for people that were going to shop, ended up internalizing a lot of the shopping at the airport. So other reasons, the Planning Commission was looking at, well, maybe we need to look at different types of uses in this area. And maybe some types of warehousing, some type of light industrial. Around this time, there was a proposal from the applicant here, Kajoyan Properties, to put in 3 kind of spec warehousing buildings on the same site. And the Planning Commission was concerned, they recognized that there may need to be some changes on the zoning and what's planned here, but we're really concerned about this proposal because it was 3 buildings that would generate a lot of trucks, and because Vining Road wasn't going to be extended, and Vining Road, there was concern of the city that having a heavy truck use at this site, we didn't want those trucks down Vining Road because that would discourage the other types of research and development and commercial uses and other things that were envisioned for the RC district. So rather than change the master plan based on input from the council, the Planning Commission decided to just leave the plan as it was, hope that there'd be a better proposal that came in, but agreed to study this area with council in the upcoming year. Well, lo and behold, we have a proposal that's probably more in line with what the Planning Commission and maybe you were thinking. This proposal for the processing and distribution center, unlike the previous proposal, has a much higher employment associated with it. Minimum 1,600 employees are proposed, up to 2,500 or more, depending on the market and SIX and so forth, but at least 1,600 compared to the previous proposal was going to be very low in terms of employment. There was a detailed traffic study submitted because we know that was an issue with the Planning Commission, concern of the public, concern of the council, and it shows that this type of use will have, the traffic will be spread more throughout the day and will have significantly less trucks associated with it than the previous 3 warehouse buildings that were proposed. So what the applicant has come in is to request an M1 zoning with conditions, and I guess by now council's used to that, but more for the audience, conditions means that the applicant volunteers to put conditions on the rezoning to make it fit better with the city's vision and master plan. So they've responded, I think, to some of the concerns that were expressed by the Planning Commission and Council at the joint meeting in terms of trucks. It's a lower truck generating use. There were concerns with road improvements. So they've offered in the conditional rezoning to add a center turn lane on E-course, add a new signal at Vining and E-course, a new signal at their main entrance along E-course, to make other signalization improvements to help smooth traffic flow through the area, and also to extend Vining Road. So that's in the development agreement. The cost for that will be kind of shared between the state and the county and the tax increment finance district. And if you have questions on that, Mr. Keys can answer that. So one hurdle was getting the road improvements as part of it. They've offered that. Another concern that the Planning Commission had with the previous proposal was those heavy trucking uses and some of the uses that M1 might allow. So the applicant has offered in this conditional rezoning to restrict those more truck-intense uses. So they've put in there, yes, we'll zone it to M1, and here are all the uses that are allowed in M1, but we are only going to allow certain uses in M1 that are more compatible with the envisioned RC zone. A third concern that the Planning Commission had was the timing of the development. We've had a number of proposals and nothing started, so there are timing mechanisms in the agreement. The city attorney worked with the applicant's attorney to put those in place. And another concern really related to trucking was we're always thinking, we have a lot of reoccupancy. What happens if this use changes? We wouldn't want to approve something and then go back to have a heavy trucking use like the previous proposal. So are there provisions in the conditional rezoning that was offered that if the use change to a type of use that the city feels could have higher volumes of trucks, that they would update the traffic impact study and the truck analysis, and that could be a criterion for you to evaluate whether or not you want to allow that or not. So that's kind of the main highlights of the background of the RC zoning, how we got to this conditional zoning agreement. There have been a lot of meetings between city staff and city traffic engineering staff, Steve Deering from OHM and Marcus McNamara from OHM and their engineers to get to where we are. The Planning Commission, as was noted, did unanimously recommend approval of the conditional rezoning. Assuming variances are granted, there's some variances needed. We can cover that if you have questions. And also that the site plan gets tweaked a little bit and is approved administratively. So before the applicant goes, Carol Mays wanted me to just give a little bit of background on that, so hopefully that was helpful. And I'm here along with Carol and Tim Keys to answer any questions you have.
John?
Yes, Mr. Wadsworth.
Brad, everything you talked about going back with Metro World, I've been here since day one. My concern is the number one, if the project does not take off, or after 6 months or a year it happens to fail, it goes back to what it was. Is that the agreement?
Yes.
Okay, the next concern I have is Ecorse Road. Going back to my days as being a cop in this town, Ecorse Road was a treacherous road. Ecorse and Wayne, you're going to give a better left turn lane that's there right now? I mean, right now it's about 4 cars turning left and then everything starts to back up again. And I go back to 1978, 79, when there was a 10-year-old boy was killed on a bicycle because somebody passed on the right. And the people that live up there, their biggest concern is fix the road, give us a better road. We're going to spend $15 million between the different governments to improve the road from Wayne all the way to Merriman. Is that correct?
Yeah, I'll let the applicant's traffic engineer or Tim go through the specifics, but they are going to be making signalization improvements beyond the immediate area of the site.
And the
some
people that have
sections.
those very lovely homes on the north side of Ecorse aren't going to lose any property over this, correct?
Correct. The reconstruction of E-course has been designed so everything will be on the south side.
All right, okay, fine. Thank you.
Yes, Ms. Abdo.
I read through this, and I know I was at the public hearing, so I guess I want clarification on exactly where the road improvements are, because I did have a lot of phone calls, and there were a lot of people here that were opposed to it. And Tim, most of them they're talking about the traffic, so I know that you are talking about improving right in front of the building. From the building down to Wayne Road, are those improvements guaranteed?
The improvements that'll occur from a traffic signalization standpoint will be a actuated traffic signal with left-hand turn lanes at Wayne Road and Ecorse.
Okay.
The same at Vining and Ecorse. The same at the entryway into the facility.
Okay.
Upgrades with actuation and left-hand turn improvements at Middle Belt and Ecorse and Merriman and Ecorse. I can't tell you exactly the parameters and the length because the engineering hasn't been done along Ecorse, but the plan is from Merriman Road heading west, the road will be reconstructed. It's currently a 2-lane road. It'll be reconstructed into a 3-lane road through to the west through Vining Road to somewhere west of Vining, whatever the appropriate engineering distance is. And then along the frontage of this building, which is 1,000 feet, 1,200 feet, there'll be actually a 4th lane added on the front of this building for decel lanes into the building. There will also be improvements on, not improvements, reconstruction of new Vining Road from Smith Road all the way up to Ecorse as a boulevarded 4-lane road. Does that help?
The road itself from Ecorse, from where the building is to Wayne Road, is not going to be reconstructed.
From past Vining Road, let's say 300, 400, 500 feet. So west of Vining to Wayne Road, there is no reconstruction or no improvements to the road.
Okay.
So
Ms.
question,
McCoskey.
just a little clarification, because pictures are always helpful. When can we see the plan that shows the actual road plan, the road
Well, we're probably,
improvements?
we've actually been trying to get together over the course of this last week, and so hopefully within this next week, we can give you a diagram of where the improvements are going to be.
Okay, so we could have that for second reading?
Yes,
Well in
absolutely.
advance of, okay. That's it, thank you.
Any other comment, question? No other comments,
Thank you.
Tim? Thank you.
Thank you again. Jonathan Stites. I represent the applicant here, and we're really excited to be in the city of Romulus and be here with a project that I think we'll find as we go through this, and that it's going to be an extremely exciting project for the city and for the county and for the state. Actually, we've got we work with a user here to develop a building that really is well thought through from a labor perspective, from a location perspective. Traffic, access is huge, all these kinds of things, because while it is an industrial, distribution type facility, it is much more an auto or a people place than it is a truck. There are certainly a truck aspect to it, which is really what's attractive about the site because of its ability to have multiple points of ingress and egress in the site for both autos, and then a truck, almost a direct access to I-94, which, as you guys might can imagine with a truck, that you want to get onto a highway as quickly as you can. So that was very attractive. So we've been working through this process, and the staff and Tim and Carol and the outside groups have all done a great job of helping shepherd this to the point of last Thursday night's planning commission and then tonight to go through it with you. But we do believe that the infrastructure commitment that this group wants to make, they never come in and try to do the minimal. We want to do what makes it work long-term, and that's clearly what is expressed in the traffic analysis. I will tell you, we think in the traffic analysis that's probably somewhere in the depths of the package that you have, there are some images of what's planned for, at least at a minimum, for the improvements. I'll go through that a little bit more in a minute. But there's significant investment, as that's been talked about. That's all still being worked through from the state, county, and local processes. The building that we'll be doing is a very institutional quality building. It's designed to last for decades, and we'll have a tenancy in there that for an initial lease that's for very long term, 15 years plus a lot of renewal options after that. So the expectation is that this will become a home and will become a great fixture in the community, provide lots of employment as been talked about, and have a big impact in that regard. But the quality of the building, the design, the flow, everything's thought through because this is one of many of these kind of facilities this group has. And so they've had a lot of history and generations of figuring out what's a better way to make a widget, if I can say that. But what I thought I'd do is show you a few images. I think there may be in your books too, but just to kind of walk through the site. And our civil engineer with PEA is here if we want to get into some technicalities, or our traffic engineer is here as well that can talk more specific about some of those things. But I don't have the walk-around mic this time, but I can try to speak up or come back here after I get this far.
John?
Yes.
Mr. Chairman?
Yeah.
Before we go any further with that, something just kind of hit me kind of odd here. We're going to spend all this money on this infrastructure, and when we get to Vining and Ecorse, we're going to go 500 more feet, and we're going to stop. We're not going to go all the way to Wayne Road with Ecorse Road. We're going to leave what's there. I mean,
Yeah, again, that stuff is kind of being worked out between the various traffic engineers and the city and who all's funding what. But I can tell you, if you don't mind, let me walk you through a little bit.
because you said they don't do the minimal. Well, to do the minimal to me would be go 500 feet past Vining and Ecorse, and we stop, and the road is there right now. Tonight is going to stay. I think that's a negative. For me, it is.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, well, let me kind of walk through a little bit of the building itself and how it works, then we can talk back out and talk a little bit more about this. This building here is about 857,000 square feet. Obviously, it's set up to where it can have loading here in the back with some trailers and so forth stuck on the back and the sides of the building here. If you can't see up close, this is a large area of parking. That's obviously designed to house a lot of auto parks for employees and people that'll be coming to this for day in and day out. This particular facility is run in a couple of different, typically run in a couple of different shifts. So there's people coming in and out in different times of the day to operate. We've set this up, and one of the great things about the site that we like is because of the ability of Ecorse, and this, once Vining is extended from Smith Road up here to join in with Ecorse, it obviously, from an auto perspective, creates several different places to come out with cars, which I'm kind of highlighting those areas, which is a big thing. We think over the history of these deals and our experience with them is that auto traffic in a lot of ways like this is like water. It kind of finds the most natural way to get to the quickest place it wants to go, depending on where they live or what have you. And so, obviously, the traffic engineer does different studies about where they think most people will go, whether they'll head over towards Merriman, or if some may go back towards Wayne, or certainly a lot will go south on Vining and catch over on Smith, or go on Vining to I-94 or what have you. But this is, but we like that. And then ultimately, from a trailer or truck perspective, this direct access to Vining that gives ultimately straight down south to I-94 is a big key, and that allows us kind of one place. This is the primary, the way this operation works is you come in through a guard shack in and out here to be able to access the truck areas. You do kind of have an emergency outlet here, just in case something were happening over here. You could get out this direction, but this is kind of this is designed to be kind of our primary in and out here. From a site perspective, it's overall designed, the big DTE electric utility transmission lines are here. That's why you see kind of a green space in that area. And then ultimately, we've designed this for these detention ponds to be down in the southern part of the site to kind of interact with the Ecorse River that's there, and it will pump out any kind of water that goes into that drainage area. So from a big picture, what's been described is, when we first came in, we certainly decided, or we certainly said to Tim and the team, and hey, we think it's absolutely vital for at least from Vining in front of our site all the way down to here to at least widen this to a full 3-lane section with a middle turn lane so that you can get over and turn left. And then, as mentioned, in each of these entrance areas, there's designed to be kind of what you call a fourth or a decel lane to allow people that are coming from this direction to turn into the site, right-hand turn in through a decel lane. Anybody coming from that direction will certainly turn in that way. If you're coming up from Vining from the highway, which many will come that way, you can come up and enter the site at this point, or certainly turn right in any of these places. So our main goal was to make sure that we got a good wide section here in front of Ecorse. We're giving up any and all needed right-of-way on the southern half of the road so that it ultimately comes off of the property that we'll be developing. And then I think that basically the traffic, and then ultimately the extension of Vining was critical, and it's an absolute must for the development so that we can have that brought up and have a place for our trucks to immediately enter and go south to the highway. And then other ways for provides just another inbound and outbound way for it to get to the site. And then ultimately, from a traffic study, what I think Mike Labadie is here could speak to if we need to go into any greater depth, but there's a widening envisioned here. There's a traffic signal envisioned here at Vining and Ecorse. There's a traffic signal envisioned here at Ecorse and our main entry. This is kind of the main entry point of the building. And then there's traffic signal improvements at Merriman and Middle Belt and Wayne that ultimately provide a better way of all of those traffic intersections to work with left turn signals and things like that. So from an overall traffic perspective, I think, anything we can do to improve Ecorse going further to the west or east, great. If we could fit that within all that we're doing.
And Councilman, the road improvements were designed based off of the traffic engineering and traffic studies that were done. Quite frankly, the improvements being done on Ecorse Road, which is a county road, it's not even a city road, the traffic improvements that are being done as proposed by the county engineers are actually larger in scope than had been actually required or requested by the traffic study. I think an analogy of a project similar, maybe take a look down at the GM Powertrain, which has 1,600 employees with lots of trucks moving through. Quite frankly, that's just a 2-lane section with decel lanes. So this is actually, at least proposed, a significant improvement from what's down there. And that works pretty good down there.
So so in the big picture, the site really works well the way we can kind of bifurcate off the drainage on the southern part of the site, create kind of our area of trucks down in this direction, create our field of parking very well spread around the main entry to be able to provide access to people quickly and efficiently. And this particular user has what we describe this is these buildings are not like the ball game where it's over and suddenly, 50,000 people leave, Ford Stadium or whatever when they're watching the Lions. It's not like that. There's a very operationally sensitive way that they run these buildings that create a flow more than a dump, if that makes sense. And so the idea is that hopefully through their sequencing of that, through their shift changes, through the way they filter people out of the facility through security and things like that, it creates a little bit of a flow of people instead of just a massive one shift leaves all at one time and one shift arrives all at one time. We personally don't get into too much of the way they operate their business, but but certainly we know that from experience. I'll just tell you real quick, if I can bring up another image here. This is somewhat just an elevation of the building. It's all concrete construction, and it's the highest institutional quality of these types of buildings. As industrial developers, we're used to seeing various spectrum kind of specifications that you see in buildings like this, and I can tell you from experience, these buildings are on the top end of the spectrum as far as quality, roof quality, steel, structure, concrete. The way they design them, as you can see in these things here are they serve a couple of different functions. One, they kind of break up the plane of the building, but they're also exit stairways because on the inside, the way they operate on the inside, they have to have different stairway exits to leave the building. So they kind of form a nice function if you look at the overall north elevation here to kind of create interest in not just one big box. It's got a little bit better than that, or it's a lot better than that. And then you've got everywhere you see blue is generally designed as where glass will be. There's some two-story office in this space, about 30,000 square feet of office. Large, really neat break rooms and training rooms and things like that as the way they do their operations. So this just gives kind of a perspective, and some of the materials we've got here in terms of how the metal canopies look or feel. We've got some of that here, as well as the feel and touch of some of the materials that we use in the building. So that's kind of an overview. I think there's a lot of professionals here that can respond to any kind of detailed questions that I can't, but we appreciate very much this opportunity to present this really tonight, I guess, just the conditional rezoning to figure out how to bring a new, exciting opportunity to the city, to this part of the county. And I think what it'll spell is, or what it has spelled in other communities, is a really great rush of employment for folks that are looking for jobs, and these guys have a commitment to the community. I will tell you, just because I know of them, they have a huge commitment to veterans. They have a huge commitment to continued education for their people. Honestly, the way they operate is they'll train people and give them give them college credit towards college courses and things like that, because their goal is to educate people so that honestly they won't work for them in 3 years. They may move on to something bigger and better in their own lives. But obviously the big picture is to bring a lot of employment and a lot of new excitement to the area. So with that, I'll let it go and answer questions as we need to.
Any questions?
Just one
Yes,
more.
Mr. Wadsworth.
If everything goes the way it planned, when would they start? And you do have an occupant ready to sign and move on, correct?
Yeah, this is a user-driven deal. It's
Okay.
it's completely dependent on everything coming together and getting started within a certain window. And that's really the key here, is the way they operate their business. There's some phases during the year that is the absolute most critical time for them to launch. And so we begin our whole process on the front end to sort of target when we start, because when you start depends on when you're going to finish because of just normal construction process. And so our goal, to answer the question simply, is to start sometime toward the end of June, early July, and break ground and begin moving dirt and doing all the earthwork during the dry, warm time up here, and try to get to a certain point before the real bad winter conditions hit. And then ultimately, their goal is to sort of occupy and begin their full-blown ramp up by July, August of next year.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments? Ms.
I've got
Makowski?
a comment, yep. I would just like to say that the work that the Planning Commission and Ms. Roscoe and our Economic Development Group, and of course, our hopefully new tenants soon, they've just done a really good job. And what I'm hearing is very exciting and is gonna be a real positive for our community. And we are, at least I'm gonna be really happy to have you here. So thank you.
Thank you.
Through the chair.
Yes.
After looking at this, I have some concerns, not a lot, but I do think this is a much better proposal than it was brought to us the first time on this property. What I would like to see added somewhere, Carol, is signage that trucks please use Vining Road. I know you can't force them, but at least the signage is there, that's where they're supposed to exit. That would alleviate some of the problems on E-course. And hopefully alleviate some of the complaints. Thanks.
Thank you, Mr. Abdul. Mr. Mayor?
I just wanted to say to City Council, I appreciate the team effort we put together here from Planning, Tim, Carol, Planning Commission. A lot of time has gone into it, and they have a good plan. And I know traffic was talked a lot about at Planning Commission and a lot of our internal meetings too. I think they'll have a detailed traffic study that'll more than support demands for this property. When you hear 1,600 jobs as a minimum, that's huge. But not just 1,600 jobs, but 1,600 good jobs that could grow and expand. And I think that this will be a marquee development that not just Romulus will be proud of, but our region. And so I wanted to thank our team, Brad Strader included, and everybody that worked hard on this. And this is just the one step in the process, but getting to this point was huge. And thank you to Planning Commission. They put a lot of thought into it. And I think it's a great opportunity for the city, and we'd love nothing more than to welcome them here. So thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Yeah, I'd like to also say, anytime you have these many employees coming to your town, these employees need housing, you do shopping in your city, so it's just a win-win situation. And I think I've been getting a lot of calls also, and everybody's just excited about anytime a business or something coming to the city to offer these many jobs and opportunities for our city. And this is what we need, because some people say, well, we need stuff to come here. Well, here's some people coming now, and this can be a great start. So I'm glad we considered. Any other comments?
Chair, I make
Yes.
a motion
Okay.
to approve RZ-2017-003, Project Mercury, conditional rezoning, portions of parcels number 80-038-99-0001-000 and 80-038-99-002-701, and also 80-038-99-004-703.
Support.
It's been motioned by Ms. Roscoe, supported by Ms. Makowski, and this is for the RZ 2017-003 project, Mercury conditional rezoning portion of partials that was mentioned by our Councilwoman Roscoe. Roll call. Ms. Roscoe.
Yes.
Ms. Makowski.
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth.
Yes.
Mr. Crowd.
Yes.
Ms. Choate.
Yes.
Ms. Abdo.
Yes.
Chair votes yes. Motion approved.
Or is the chairperson's
you.
report?
Thank you, Madam Chairman. Madam Clerk, I'm so excited here that we're getting some business coming to Romulus. That's good. I'd like to take this opportunity, though, there's a couple birthday persons here in the audience. I'd like to say happy birthday to our Mayor Burcroft and our Cable Director, Roger Cato.
Oh, happy birthday.
Also, if I could, Mr. Chairman, we have Tracy Eddings and Leondo Smith from the Senior Center's birthday. We're proud to share.
All right.
Thank you.
Cool.
Thank you.
Thank you. Also, on graduations, I'd like to congratulate the Braggs family. They had a graduation. And the Burcrofts, they had family graduations. And my granddaughter, she graduated this Saturday also. So I'd like to say congratulations to young people and
Congratulations.
and
to you, too.
keep up the good work. Also at this time, if I may, I would like to bring up Ms. Jan Lemon to the podium. Ms. Lemon, I have a special recognition that was asked to read to you. It's from the member of Congress, certificate of special congressional recognition presented to Jan Lemon in recognition of outstanding and invaluable service to the community from Congress John Conyers, Jr.
Thank you. Over.
Yeah, Kwame.
With that, that concludes the chairman's report.
Mr. Chair, I'll make a motion to accept your report.
Support.
It's been motioned by Ms. Roscoe, supported by Ms. Choate, to accept the chairperson's report. Ms. Roscoe,
Yes.
Ms. Choate,
Yes.
Mr. Kraut,
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth.
Yes.
Ms. Makowski.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
Chair votes yes. Motion approved. Thank you.
And number 5 is the mayor's report.
Good evening, City Council, Clerk, Deputy Clerk, and audience. By the way, Jan, we're leaving the budget as it is, just because you got another award tonight now. We're not modifying that. We'll work on that later. My quote for tonight, it kind of ties in. This was a gentleman who shared a birthday. Harry S. Truman's birthday was May 8th. And this one ties into kind of what we just went through as a team, and it goes as this. It's amazing what you can accomplish if you don't care who gets the credit. And that's what I love about this town. I love about this council, love about our planning commission, and everybody working together. If we just keep working hard and getting good things done, there'll be enough credit to go around everywhere. So I thought that was fitting for tonight, and I thank you for your consideration for our petitioner. A lot going on, so we have a live report tonight. We're blessed to have Dennis Davison come up and give us a live report. Dennis?
Thank you, Mayor. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and people watching. A lot of good things happening. The annual Romulus Clean Sweep is this week, going on from May the 10th through the 14th, and we're encouraging all residents, families, and neighborhood groups who pick any time throughout those 4 days to get together and clean up their street, local park, or neighborhood to beautify our community. Call the mayor's office and tell us about what areas you're going to do. The citywide free dumping and tire take-back will also be on Wednesday, May the 10th through Friday, May the 12th from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. and Saturday, May 13th from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. Items will be accepted in the lot south of the Romulus DPW building at 12600 Wayne Road. You must bring proof of residency. Only non-hazardous materials will be accepted. Tires are limited to 7 per vehicle, and bulky items such as furniture and appliances are limited to 3 per household. Tires will not be accepted on Saturday. Nothing from commercial sources will be accepted. Friends of the Romulus Animal Shelter are hosting their annual bowling fundraiser at the Romulus Lanes on Friday, May the 12th. Registration at 6:30, bowling at 7:30. Tickets are $25 per person. Councilman Wadsworth assures me there's 1 or 2 spots left, but not too many. And I'd also like to invite anybody to come out to help support this very, very good cause that helps us out at the shelter and purchase some very needed things for our animal shelter. So stop by and partake of all the good things, even if you don't bowl. Another good thing happening the next day at the bowling alley, it's the Romulus Relay for Life, and it's hosting a fundraiser on Saturday, May the 13th, and it's called Hope Floats. This will be held at Romulus Lanes from noon until 5, and stop by and bowl a few games and shop for Mom with flowers, jewelry, and more. And of course, you know the Relay for Life that's coming up, I believe, in August, and it's going to be held behind the Senior Center. The Romulus Swim Club will be starting the summer season. It's only $20 for 2 months. All school age children are welcome to join and must be able to swim one full length on their front and back to be eligible. Registration will be held May 15th and 16th from 6 to 7:30 p.m. at the Romulus High School pool. You do not have to be a Romulus resident or student to join. For more information, visit romulusswimclub.com. Also, Tuesday the 16th at the RAC, that will be the annual swearing in of the Chamber of Commerce officers by Brian Oakley, Judge Brian Oakley, who will also be the keynote speaker at that time. Contact the Chamber for tickets on that. That's Tuesday at 11:30. Our citywide free yard sale will be held on May the 18th to the 21st. Register or get more information from the clerk's office at City Hall. Romulus Flyers Pee Wee Football and Cheerleading is also holding registration. Children's ages 7 through 13 are eligible. Registration will be held May the 20th and June 17th from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. at the Romulus Athletic Center. Find out more at romulusflyers.org. And as always, the Romulus Public Library has a whole host of programs, including Family Story Time on Tuesdays at 6:30 p.m., Toddler Story Time on Wednesdays at 10:30 a.m., as well as a renowned flute and harp duo free concert on Saturday, May the 20th at 1 p.m. So for more information on any of these events, please remember to visit our website, romulusgov.com, or like us on Facebook. Thank you.
Thank you, Dennis. A lot going on. Under my items for action tonight, under item A is a pretty easy one. This is an annual request, and what you have before you is a request to concur with the administration, authorize a no-fee permit for the use of Historical Park on June 17th. That'll be from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m., and this is for the Historical Society's annual flea market. They've also reserved the pavilion.
So move for the historical flea market on June 17th.
It's been motioned by Mr. Wadsworth, supported by Mr. Kraut, to concur with the administration and authorize a no-fee permit for the use of the historical park on June 17th, and that's from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. for the Historical Society Animal Flea Market. Any questions, Ms. Roscoe?
Kind of a question. I was wondering if anyone is interested in being set up for the flea market, they would contact the number that is on the email paper? Can we give that out or no? Who would we contact?
I would probably say if they want to contact the mayor's office, we'll refer those to them. I don't know if I want to give out that contact number.
I wasn't sure, so I didn't want to put that out there. But, so contact the clerk's office if you want to find out
Clerk or
about
mayor, we
setting
can
up.
refer them to
Or the mayor's
historical.
office. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Mr. Kraut?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Makowski?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Ms. Choate?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
Thank you, council. Item B is a request that came through Roberto Scapitici, our DPW director and city engineer OHM. And this is a change order, a good one, I might add. The request is to concur with the administration, authorize ITB 16/17-23, and that's change order number 1 to extend additional work on 4th Street concrete patching project based on favorable pricing that was provided from Forey Enterprises. The amount's $10,999.52, and those funds were verified and out of the capital outlay and local roads account.
So moved.
So we're basically doing more of the road.
Sorry.
Support.
It's been motioned by Ms. Makowski, supported by Ms. Roscoe. And this is for the change order number ITB 16/17-23, 4th Street concrete repair. Makowski.
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe.
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth.
Yes.
Mr. Kraut.
Yes.
Ms. Choate.
Yes.
Ms. Abdo.
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
Thank you, council. Item C is an annual event we go through, and this is the request that came through recommendation of Berto Scapitici, DPW Director, and Lynn Conway, Purchasing Director. And there's 2 motions required for this tonight, and they're listed as followed.
So moved.
Support.
It's been motioned by Ms. Makowski, supported by Ms. Roscoe. And this is for the first motion, is that's to concur with administration award bid ITB F-FH-16-17-2003, and that's for the purchase of our road salt for the 2017-18 season under the terms of the HMITN cooperative bid from the successful bidder, Cargill Incorporated. The price is $52.99 per ton. Purchase not to exceed funds approved and budget in the 17-18 fiscal year budget. Any question? No question, roll call. Ms. Makowski?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Mr. Kraut?
Yes.
Ms. Choate?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
And the second motion is just to extend it at a very competitive bid to the following year.
So moved.
Support.
Been motioned by Ms. Makowski, supported by Ms. Roscoe, to concur with administration and authorize the purchase road salt for a second year under the term of the MITN corporate bid for 2018-19 winter salt season for Cargill Corporation. Ms. Makowski?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Mr. Kraut?
Yes.
Ms. Choate?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
Thank you, council. Next item is item D. What you have before you is it's been a long process, but this is pursuant to section 9.4 of our city charter. And I have attached the adoption document that has the levy rates for both the general fund, for court, for library. They're on the second to last page for the actual final rates. We've gone through a process here with internally that started quite a while ago, actually back in January. We've worked hard. I want to thank our team. I know not just Suzanne Marino and Abby Atkins, but the whole team. We have a series of sit-downs where we try to look at needs and wants. Mr. Barton, you came in and sat in on not just councils, but a few others that you're welcome to. The clerk on her portion, treasurer. We had courts in, libraries, and so in my experience, when I was on council for 16 years, there's no perfect budget, but I think this is a very good budget. So I appreciate the fact that we've had a series of study sessions. We did videotape live the cable public hearing. We've tried to provide as much information, and I think all in all, as we always do, it's a balanced budget and it's a good budget. So what you have before you is a request to concur with the administration and adopt the General and Special Appropriations Act and tax levy authorization for the City of Romulus and 34th District Court for fiscal year 2017 and 18 as submitted by myself, Mayor Burcroft.
So moved.
Support.
It's been motioned by Ms. Makowski, supported by Mr. Kraut, and this is to concur with the administration and adopt the General and Special Appropriation Act and tax levy authorization for the City of Romulus and the 34th District Court fiscal year 2017-18 as submitted by Mayor Burcroft. In discussion? Ms. Abdo?
Yes, Mayor. This year, we went ahead and televised the public hearings, which I think helped keep people informed, and I'm wondering if that can be our practice from now on.
Sure.
For the budget, so that they get the information out there. I think it was a good thing.
We'd love it when we get participation from the public, absolutely.
Well, thank you for doing it.
Yep, no problem.
Makowski?
Yes.
Mr. Kraut?
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Choate?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
Thank you, council. Last item before you is a budget amendment, and what you have is a introduction for a request for administration for introduction of 16/17-24, and that's to recognize additional unanticipated revenues and expenditures for the 16-17 budget year, and they're listed attached.
So moved.
Support.
It's been motioned by Mr. Wadsworth, supported by Ms. Choate. This is to concur with administration and introduce budget amendment 16/17-24 to recognize additional unanticipated revenues and expenses during the year 16-17 budget year. Discussion? No discussion? Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Choate?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Makowski?
Yes.
Mr. Kraut?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
Thank you, council, and that concludes my report.
Thank you, Mayor.
6A is the clerk's report. And again, happy birthday, Mayor Burkrop and Roger Cadu. There's 4 items under the clerk's report this evening. The first agenda item is a request for a half-an-hour study session for Monday, May 22nd, 2017, and this is to discuss ordinance amendments to Chapter 30, licensing, Chapter 46, peddlers and solicitors, Chapter 60, taxi cab transportation network company and vehicles for hire, and also to discuss the proposed 2017-18 fee schedule.
So moved.
Support.
Motion by Ms. Makowski, supported by Ms. Roscoe. This is for the request for the half-an-hour study session on Monday, May 22nd at 6:30 PM to discuss the ordinance amendments. Ms. Makowski?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Choate?
Yes.
Mr. Kraut?
Yes.
Abdo?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
Item 2A is a request for a public hearing on June 12th, 2017, at 7 o'clock p.m., and this is to hear comments regarding the road vacation request for Vinoy and Henry Ruff Roads.
So moved.
Support.
Motion by Ms. Makowski, supported by Ms. Roscoe, for a request for a public hearing on June the 12th, 2017 at 7 p.m. to hear comments regarding the road vacation request for Vinoy and Henry Ruff Roads. Ms. Makowski?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Choate?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Mr. Kraut?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
6A3 is a request to acquire city-owned property. The Property Disposition Committee is requesting City Council's concurrence on the following recommendation. Parcel number 8002003002000 in the amount of $500 from Ulysses V. Sims, and require that parcel number 800200300200000 be combined with parcel number 802020300210000 into one description parcel.
So moved.
Support.
A lot of zeros.
Zero.
It's been motioned by Ms. Abdo, supported by
Repeat the
Ms.
zeros.
Makowski, but I will not repeat all those zeros. I'm just gonna say for Property Disposition Committee, requested to acquire city-owned property. Ms. Abdo,
Yes.
Ms. Makowski,
Yes.
Ms. Choate,
Yes.
Kraut,
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
Thank you, a lot of zeros there. And the last item under the clerk's report is item 6A4, and this is a request for a half-hour study session for Monday, May 22nd, 2017, and this is to present the city quarterly investment reports, and request is coming from our city treasurer, who could not be here this evening. She's at a treasurer's, advanced education, so she did provide for you your City of Romulus Investment Act. She provided that information. So to explain all of that, she's requesting a study session for May 22nd.
So moved. Okay, great.
Support.
It's been motioned by Mr. Kraut, supported by Ms. Abdo, for half-hour study session on Monday, May 22nd, 2017, to present the city quarterly investment report. Mr. Kraut?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Ms. Choate?
Yes.
Ms. Makowski?
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Mrs. Roscoe?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
Thank you. That concludes the clerk's report.
Thank you.
And there is no treasurer's report. So number 7 is public comment, and this is the portion of our meeting that's set aside for those of you that are in the audience. If you would like to have comments, please raise your hand and approach the podium after being recognized. State your name, and we ask that you please limit your comments to 3 minutes. Mr. Chair and Council, we did have a request to speak. I don't know if he's in the audience. And Mr. Daniel McClausland, is he in the audience? No, we resolved it. Okay, great.
Okay.
That was the only written request we had.
Okay, any other comments from the audience? I think Ms. Lemon had her hand up.
Good evening,
Good evening.
everyone. This has just been overwhelming, very humbling. The dinner that night that everyone so attended was just wonderful. When I did this project, I did it from the heart. I love that cemetery. But I could not have done this without my volunteers, without financial help from the city. We did benefits. People in this community went into their own money and helped with trees. This is a community event that I hope when I'm gone, it will continue, Leroy. And this council has to make sure it continues, because our history lies on that ground. And I just treasure it. And I will always remember everyone that was there and how kind everybody has been to me. And Tim, you did not make it. Good thing. You were at a wedding. You were at a wedding, so I forgive you. But you were the backbone for me. You helped me when I had a problem. Just knowing that I could come, you really, really helped me. And I will always remember that. I thank each and every one of you. And Mary Oakley, who nominated me behind my back, God bless her. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Jan.
Thank you.
Are there any more public comments? There's no other public comments? We'll close that part out, Madam Clerk.
Number 8 is unfinished business. Number 9 is new business. Number 10 is communication. Number 11 for approval is warrant 17-09.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, Ms. Cho?
I'd like to make a motion that we approve warrant 17-09 in the following amounts. General fund, $66,155.69. Major street fund, $4,049.12. Local street fund, $7,591.97. Cable TV, $1,396.12. Garbage and rubbish collection fund, $2,846.08. CDBG at $2,951.25. The 911 Service Fund, $2,468.86. Law Enforcement, $96.27. Narcotics Forfeiture, $2,319.10. Library Fund, $1,827.61. DDAs, $2,453.53. Tifa District 2, $3,906.78. Tifa District Vining Road Construction, $10,550. Water and Sewer Fund, $835,900.95. Motor Vehicles, $8,782.84. Technology Services, $13,361.93. Retirees Insurance Benefits, $2,194.94. Revolving Fund, $12,569.64. Delinquent Personal Property Fund, $21,188.42. Payroll Fund, $111,400.50. For a grand total of all funds, $1,114,311.60.
Support.
It's been motioned by Ms. Choate, supported by Mr. Kraut. Pay warrant number 17-09 for $1,114,311.60. Ms. Choate?
Yes.
Mr. Kraut?
Yes.
Ms. Makowski?
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, warrant number 17-09 will be paid.
Number 12 is adjournment.
So moved.
Support.
Motion by Mr. Wadsworth, supported by Ms. Roscoe for adjournment. Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Makowski?
Yes.
Mr. Kraut?
Yes.
Ms. Choate?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, we are adjourned. Thank you.